What's up guys, my name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing to you my Yummy deck profile. This deck has a lot of capabilities of becoming very explosive even after the ban list hits. Due to the Obedient School going down to 1, it does make it a little bit more difficult to get 3 out at once, but you still have the capability of becoming very highly explosive with the deck and actually being able to get some fun combos off. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to bring up something funny that I've realized with the deck that you could potentially do to make the deck a little bit more funnier and offer another way to OTK your opponent if you're looking for something a little off out of the blue just to have a little bit of fun. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and hop right into this deck profile, and I'll show you what I mean. So, starting off with the main deck, for the main Yummy cards, I do play 3 Cups of Yummy, which is adorable. If you control, before I start, if you control a Link 1 monster or a level 2 Synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. This is on every Yummy monster that is in the main deck, and it's very helpful to keep your plays going and keep you continuously being able to set up the board and being able to keep going on. You can only special summon Cupsy Yummy once per turn this way. If this card is normal special summon, you can add 1 Yummy card from your deck to your hand except Cupsy Yummy. Or if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster, you can draw 1 card instead. You can only use this effect of Cupsy Yummy once per turn. So we do play 3 Cupsy Yummy. We do play 3 Cookie Yummy, which we'll go over here. Once again, the whole thing of if you control a Link 1 monster or level 2 Synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Cookie Yummy once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field your opponent controls, it loses 1,000 attack. Or if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster, you could destroy that monster instead. You can only use this effect of Cookie Yummy once per turn. And then finally, our main staple of 3 for Lollipo Yummy until our new Yummy comes out, which I think is the Marshmallow. But Lollipo is a really good card because if you control a Link 1 or a level 2 Synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Lollipo Yummy once per turn this way. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, shuffle into the deck. Or if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster, you can banish that card instead. So even though all of them have the same summoning effect of if you control a Link 1 or a level 2 Beast monster, you can special summon them from your hand, that's perfectly fine because you're going to get continuously more effects off with it. Because when they're normal or special summon, you basically get to either lower an attack, add a card, or banish a card, just in general, or shuffle a card, I should say. But if you summon them off the Synchro, you get to draw a card, you get to pop a card, or banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. Overall, this set of cards is just really good and potent for the actual deck. Now, as for the actual main monster, outside of the Yummies that I do play, I play 2 Yukono no Mitsune no Tamayaru. I am sorry if I butchered that, but if you control a level 4 or lower light beast, plant, or fairy monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. A monster that was synchro summoned using this effect gains these effects. Gains 500 defense. Your opponent cannot target this defense position card with card effects. You can only use each effect of Yukono Mitsune no Tamayaru once per turn. So basically, this is a way to where we can go ahead and get directly into our level 4 Synchro of Herald, or any others that we're wishing to utilize. The other thing is, since it's a light beast, we can link it off for our Yummy Snatchy. Now, the fun fact of this is when the Marshmallow drops, we're going to be dropping 2 Lollipo and 1 Tamiyaura. There, we're just going to call it that. So we'll drop these 3 cards to put in the 3 Marshmallow ones, which are going to really help us with the consistency of the deck and get us more effect triggers. But until that card actually drops, which is probably past this time which you guys are seeing this video, that's what I would recommend doing. Now, what about the actual spells for the Yummy deck? The spells for the Yummy deck, I do play 2 Yummy Amusement Mignon, 1 Yummy Amusement Acrolé, and 2 Yummy Surprise. What do each of the field spells do? Well, Yummy Amusement Mignon Yummy monsters you control gain 500 attack for each light beast monster on the field. You can only use each of the following effects of Yummy Amusement Mignon once per turn. If you control a Link 1 monster, you can target one level 1 Yummy monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 2 Yummy monsters in your graveyard and or banishment. Place this card and them on the bottom of the deck in any order. So it helps recycle. Yummy Amusement Acro K. If you synchro summon a light beast synchro monster, you could target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. If a face-up monster your opponent controls, if a face-up monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon one Yummy monster from your deck. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 2 Yummy monsters in your graveyard and or banishment. Place this card and them on the bottom of the deck in any order. You can only use each effect of Yummy Amusement Acro K once per turn. Then finally we have 2 Yummy Surprise. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Yummy Surprise once per turn. Target 2 light beast monsters you control and 2 cards your opponent controls. Return them to the hand. Special summon one Yummy monster from your hand or graveyard, but cannot attack directly this turn. Return one field spell from your face-up field or graveyard to your hand. Then you can place one Yummy field spell from your hand face-up on your field. So, while they do offer a lot of effects, these cards do give you the capability of really interacting with your opponent, getting more attacks so you don't have to worry about the small attack base that you have, or just being able to cause an interruption by bouncing them back. 2 monsters, special summoning a Yummy monster from your hand or graveyard, or just returning a field spell that you really want from the graveyard to your field. It really helps get that consistency flowing. All right. Well, what other package am I playing with this? Because this deck doesn't really operate with just only roughly 20 cards. Well, for the package I'm playing the Sky Striker package, which is 3 Mobilize Engage, 1 Mecha Hornet Drones, and 1 Widow Anchor. So, what's the point of these cards? Sky Striker, Mobilize Engage. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, add 1 Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand except Sky Striker, Mobilize Engage. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can draw 1 card. Mecha Hornet Drones. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace token, Warrior Dark level 1, attack 0, defense 0, in defense position, which cannot be tributed. And if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, when this effect resolves, the token's attack and defense become 1500 defense instead, or 1500 instead. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target 1 face-up effect monster on the field, negate that face-up monster's effect until the end of this turn. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can take control of that monster until the end phase when you activate Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor. So basically, it allows me to get a token to summon to go into a Link 1. Also, while offering a potential draw if I have 3 or more spells in the graveyard. The Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor offers a negate and potential steal with if I have 3 spells in the graveyard to further interact with my opponent and hinder their play. Now, the fun effect is you can play the deck without that engine and supplement other things such as Mimighoul, Ancient Fairy Dragon, etc. Now, this deck has a lot of one-ofs, power spells that really help you just overall with the pure playability of this deck. One being Triple Tactics Talent, the other being Triple Tactics Thrust, Obedience Schooled, Pot of Prosperity, Called by the Grave, and 1 for 1. These cards all are just power spells for the deck that really help you further enable your plays and keep getting that actual engine up and running. Obedience Schooled, since it was hit to 1, is good reason because if you control no monsters, you can special summon 3 level 2 or lower beast effect monsters with different names from your deck, but their effects are negated. Also, they are destroyed during the end phase. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon except beast monsters. Given that this deck was all beast monsters, it didn't really affect it overall, and it just enabled so much. That's why it needed to go to 1. 1 for 1, you can send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 1 monster from your hand or deck. Called by the Grave, target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. So basically, this is just a way to prevent hand traps from going off that hit the graveyard so you can further interact with them and being able to make sure your plays go through. Triple Tactics Thrust. If your opponent has activated a monster effect during this turn, set 1 normal spell or trap directly from your deck except Triple Tactics Thrust. Or if your opponent controls a monster, you can add it to your hand instead. That set card cannot be activated this turn. You can only activate one Triple Tactics Thrust per turn. That's perfectly fine because we usually utilize this effect of we're using it when our opponent has a monster and they've activated a monster effect to interact with us. That way we can get Thrust or Pot of Prosperity or Obedience Schooled if we don't have the actual monsters on board. So, Triple Tactics Talent. If your opponent has activated a monster effect during your main phase this turn, activate one of these effects. Draw 2 cards, take control of one monster your opponent controls until the end of the phase. Look at your opponent's hand and choose one card from it and shuffle it into the deck. You can only activate one Triple Tactics Talent per turn. Pot of Prosperity. Banish 3 or 6 cards of your choice from your extra deck, face down. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, any damage your opponent takes is halved. Also, excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards banished. Add one excavated card from your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. You can also activate one Pot of Prosperity per turn. You cannot draw cards by card effects the turn you activate this card. Even though this card is a double-edged sword, so you can't really OTK your opponent unless you have a lot more damage on board, it does offer you the capability of further digging into your deck to get the cards that you need. You never want to really banish 6, but you want to banish at least 3 because you are playing some cards that you don't really necessarily need. Anyways, that is the 6 power spells that I do play for the actual deck. And yes, I do call them power spells because those cards are so powerful, they have a good reason of being at 1. Now, here's the fun part in which you can supplement this entire last part for going second cards if you really want to. But I'm playing a lot of hand traps for the deck, which are 3 Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, 3 Droll Lockbird, 3 Infinite Impermanents, 2 Ghost Spell Haunted Mansion, and 2 Effect Veiler. If I may make any recommendations, change the 3 Infinite Impermanents to either 3 Ghost Ogre or 2 Nibiru and 1 Ghost Ogre. It's basically just the same interactions. Infinite Impermanence basically gives your opponent more playability is the problem because everything could play through Imperm or Effect Veiler this format, which it seems like. So in this case, I would recommend cutting the Infinite Impermanence or Effect Veilers just for Nibirus and or Ghost Ogres. The other things that I will state is you can cut this entire portion here just for going second cards, such as Book of Eclipse, Book of Moon, Forbidden Droplet, Dark Ruler No More, Evenly Matched. You can do so much with this deck to where you can modify it however you see fit. Now, before we go into the extra deck, there's one other thing that I would like to bring up, in which if you do not have the Sky Striker engine or the money for it, there is a fun little tech engine that I realized that you can play to supplement these 5 cards. And that, my friends, if I can find it, I just set it to the side and forgot about where I placed it. But it's the Ancient Fairy cards. They have a lot of capability. Ah, there it is. So what you could do is play 1 Bat, 3 Regulus, and 1 World of Spirits. So it allows you to just get further capability and more monsters on the field to really go into your links for Snatchy. They're also... Bat is a tuner, and if you have a card in the field zone, you can special summon it. Regulus, if this card is no more special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions Ancient Fairy Dragon from your deck to your hand, which you can add, not the Bat, but you can add another Regulus, I believe. Yep, you can add another Regulus. And the fun part about this is that it gets you more tuners and more capabilities if you really want to play the Ancient Fairy Dragon engine. It's just something a little cheaper, a little bit more fun, and has a lot more capability of just further extending your play if you don't have that budget to really continue what you want to do. But this is just something that I would recommend for newer players that are looking for something to try versus Sky Striker package, which is just for anybody that really wants to play competitively at a higher level. This core does do a lot of fun things as well, because you can link these 2 off for the Snatchy, or you can utilize them for further higher level synchro plays if you just want to incorporate that into your deck. All right, so now about the extra deck. Let's go ahead and hop right on into that. So, for the extra deck, you got 2 Cupsy Yummy Way. This is one of our synchros that we utilize. For this card Synchro Summon, you can treat 1 Link 1 monster from you control as a level 1 tuner. You only use each of the following effects of Cupsy Yummy Way once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can add 2 Yummy monsters from deck to your hand, then discard 1 card. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can return this card to the extra deck, special summon up to 2 Yummy monsters from your graveyard. So the fun effect that this is, it lets you correct your hand once it's Synchro Summoned. So if you got 2 dead cards in hand, you can basically add 2 Yummy cards to continue your play and keep rolling on while allowing you to get that further discard for something else you may want in the graveyard, or just giving you the capability of further playing through. The other is Lollipo Yummy Way, which is basically for the Synchro Summon, you can treat 1 Link 1 monster you control as a level 1 tuner. You can only use each of the following effects of Lollipo Yummy Way once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon 2 Yummy monsters from your graveyard, but negate their effects. When an opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can return this card to the extra deck, special summon up to 2 Yummy monsters from your graveyard. It's just another extender as well, and basically they all have that same effect of, hey, you got a Link 1? Okay, let's turn that into a tuner and synchro up. Then finally, for the last Yummy synchro monster that I play the 1 Cookie Yummy Way. For this card Synchro Summon, you can treat 1 Link 1 monster you control as a level 1 tuner. You can only use each of the following effects of Cookie Yummy Way once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field, change in the face-down defense position. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can return this card to the extra deck, special summon up to 2 Yummy monsters from your graveyard. So basically, you're just book a mooning a couple monsters on the board, but also giving you the capability of reviving 2 back, just like where these 2 can revive 2 back as well if your opponent activates a card or effect. Alright, so what is the rest of the monsters that I play? Well, I'm playing the 1 Martial Metal Marcher, the 1 Star Ham, and the 1 Herald of Arclight, since it is now gone to 1. Now, the one thing I will note as well, that if you do not have access to a Star Ham or Martial Metal Marcher, there is a card called Samsara Cat, which I believe I have a copy laying around here somewhere. Yep. Shimesen Samsara Sorrow Cat. You can utilize this as well as a supplement for one of these 2. Martial Metal Marcher is, if this card is Synchro Summon, you can target 1 tuner in your graveyard, special summon in defense position, but negate its effects. You can only use this effect of Martial Metal Marcher once per turn. A synchro monster that used this card as material is treated as a tuner while face up on the field. The Star Ham. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can discard 1 card, special summon 1 monster from your graveyard that was used for material for this card's Synchro Summon. If you do, it is treated as a tuner. If this card is in your graveyard, you can discard 2 cards, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You only use this effect, or use each effect of the Star Ham once per turn. Shimesen Samsara Sorrow Cat. Once per chain, during your opponent's main phase, you can, quick effect, immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro Summon using this card you control. If this card's in your graveyard, you can target 1 other Synchro monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Shimesen Samsara Sorrow Cat once per turn. So basically, this card will allow you to get the Herald of Arclight back into the deck, or extra deck in this case, and being able to further play through a lot of your interactions. Also, it makes it to where this becomes a threat, so they have to banish it instead of the Herald of Arclight. Herald of Arclight, any monster sent from hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated. Quick effect, you contribute this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 ritual monster or 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. We're not utilizing the second effect, but we are utilizing the main effect of setting up an Omni Negate and a Banish, because it does hurt a lot of the main decks in the format right now. But that's all for the Synchro monsters that I am playing in this deck. Now, what about the links? Well, of course, for the links, we're playing 3 Yummy Snatchy, 1 Sky Striker Ace Kagari, 1 Link Spider, 1 Link Kribo, and 1 Yuko no Mitsune no Onari. So, what do each of these do? Yummy Snatchy. Takes 1 level 4 lower light beast monster. If this card is special summon, you can place 1 yummy field spell from your hand or deck face up on your field. Also, you cannot link summon, link 3, or link or higher link monsters for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Yummy Snatchy once per turn, once per chain during the main phase, or your opponent's battle phase. You can pay 100 life points immediately after this effect resolves. Synchro summon using monsters you control as material, including a yummy monster. So you can basically turn it into a quick effect synchro summon using its effect, and it also gets you a field spell, which further helps. Now, if you're going against it and you're looking to really stop them in their play, go ahead and Ghost Ogre the Yummy Snatchy when it tries to add a field spell or replace a field spell. Because if you Ghost Ogre, it does slow down their play a lot and they have to start thinking through. Sky Striker Ace Kagari. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 Sky Striker spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. It gains 100 attack for each spell in your graveyard. You can only special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace Kagari once per turn. This is basically just recursion for the Sky Striker engine, so we can further get through some other plays. Link Spider. 1 normal monster. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower normal monster from your hand to your zone this card points to. This is just basically a way to play around Nibiru, because if they Nibiru us, we can just take the token, go into Link Spider, continue our plays, and special summon off with our yummy monsters if we haven't already activated or summoned them this turn. Next up, we have Link Karibo, back from the ban list in 2-1. Requires 1 level 1 monster. When an opponent declares an attack, you contribute this card, change that opponent's monster's attack to 0 until the end of this turn. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect. You contribute 1 level 1 monster, special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Link Karibo once per turn. So outside of just being really annoying and coming back and dropping monster's attack to 0, this card can allow you to play around some really goofy interactions. Yuki no Mitsune no Onari. 2 light monsters, including a beast monster. Your opponent cannot target cards in field zones with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Yuki no Mitsune no Onari once per turn. If this card is link summon, you can target 1 quick play spell in your graveyard, set it. If this card is destroyed for each card in a field zone, you can apply one of the following effects. If both, apply them in sequence. Destroy 1 card your opponent controls, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. Now, while we did have the old time rules in effect, burn damage would have come up every so often, but we don't really care about that overall. Usually we're using it as just a pop card to pop a monster on our opponent's board. Now, what's the funny tech that I was talking about utilizing the extra deck? Well, it requires a card called Goyo Defender. It's a level 3 synchro monster. Requires 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monster. Once per turn, if all monsters you control are Earth Warrior synchro monsters, minimum 1, you can special summon Goyo Defender from your extra deck. When this card is targeted for attack, you can make this card gain 1000 attack for each Earth Warrior synchro monster you control other than this card until the end of the damage step. So, this is the funny interaction I was talking about, as you can take out the Yuki no Mitsune no Onari, the Sky Striker Ace Kagari, and either the Martial Mel Marcher or Starham, based on what you need, and run 3 Goyo Defender. This just turns it into a funnier interaction because, okay, you have a Yummy Snatchy and a Yummy Monster. You synchro into one of your level 2 tuners, you summon out another Yummy Monster, go into Goyo Defender. Okay, the only monster you control is Goyo Defender. What are they really going to do? Well, you just summon out 3, basically, because when he's summoned out, if he's the only monster on the board, you can summon 2 more from your extra deck without synchro summoning. So you've already set up 3,000 attackers during your opponent's turn, which becomes very annoying very fast, and it's a little goofy overall, but it's still something nobody would really expect, and it's funny to see. Anyways, this is all I've got for today's deck profile. If you guys did like this content, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Also, I do try to get to everybody's comments as they come in, so please, if you do feel like you do like the videos, please feel free to leave a comment as well. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?